Good morning, America. Thanks for being here with us today. I'm Vanessa Broussard. Today, we're kicking off and taking you back to November 2017 and one of Texas's worst mass shootings in history, the Sutherland Springs church shooting. 26 people died that day, 22 others were wounded, and a good citizen was there at the right place at the right time. His name, Stephen Williford. He was armed with an AR-15 that day, and he shot the shooter. Stephen Williford is here with us today. Stephen, good to have you on the show. Thanks for being here. You are a prime example of why good guys need guns, but the left, they're trying to take that right away from us. Tell us about that day. Let's take it back. This was almost a decade ago. What was it like in your eyes? Tell us about that experience.
Well, I was home myself, just relaxing because I was going to start an on call at the hospital where I worked, and I knew I was going to get a lot of extra hours. So I stayed home that day, and my daughter made me aware that there was a shooting happening at the church. And I ran to my safe, I opened it up, I grabbed an AR-15. I didn't even have shoes on. People say, I can't believe you didn't put shoes on. I tell them, you're lucky I had pants on because I kept hearing shots fired and knew that each one of those shots was meant for someone I cared about, a neighbor or a friend, possibly even a relative. In Sutherland Springs, we're under 600 total population. And I ran across the street, and as I ran across the street, I yelled out. Inside the building, they were hiding under the pews, and he was shooting them through the pews, and he shot Julie Workman through the breast and bounced one off of the concrete into her leg. And then he turned the rifle and shot Chris through the pew, hitting Chris Workman in the middle of the back, instantly paralyzing him from the waist down. And he pulled his pistol and he was going to shoot Chris in the face. And Chris said he heard me yell. And when he heard me yell, he dropped his rifle in the church and came out shooting at me with a pistol. And he had on class 3A body armor and a ballistic bulletproof helmet. And he started shooting at me. I ran behind a truck. He hit the truck in front of me, shattered the windshield of the car behind me. He hit the house behind me. And I was able to put 6 out of 6 rounds on him. I hit him in the left chest. I hit him in the abdomen. He turned to his side to get into his vehicle, which was parked in the middle of the street with the driver's side door open and engine running. And when he turned to his side, I put one between the plates in his side and one high in his legs. He got in the vehicle, and which sitting in the middle of the street, driver's side door open, engine running. He got in the vehicle, slammed the door. He put 2 more shots through the window at me, and I busted one across his forehead right underneath the rim of the helmet. He accelerated and tried to leave. And as he was fleeing, I ran in the middle of the street. He was about 150 yards away, and I shot the last shot that I fired through the back windshield. The police say that went through the back windshield, through the driver's side seat, and hit him right at the left shoulder blade. And he topped the hill and out of sight. I flagged down a truck and we chased him 11.6 miles down the road. And they say in the end, he turned the pistol up underneath his helmet and shot himself and killed himself. And I'm okay with that.
You know, you're a hero, Stephen, and we hear a lot about police officers making split second decisions, and people love to judge police officers during these times, but your adrenaline has to be running at that moment, and you have to make split second decisions. What was that like for you? What was your mood like during that time, your thought process?
Never, never disrespect police officers that are coming to save your life and put their own life in danger. I have the highest respect for law enforcement, and I never wanted to see red and blue lights more in my life than that moment. But Police, when seconds count, police are minutes away. And I just had to get in the game. I cared so much about the people in that church. I grew up in Sutherland Springs. My kids actually went to Awanas at that church. We didn't normally attend that church, but I delivered toys for 6 years before this happened, dressed as Santa Claus on my motorcycle. And I still do that even today. Excuse me. Sutherland Springs is my hometown, and I couldn't just let that happen in my hometown.
Absolutely not. And again, you are an angel on earth for being there and helping save more lives on that day. I have a video clip I want to play for our viewers, taking us back. It's coming from your website, taking us back to that day and how the left, especially under the Biden administration, they're trying to take our guns away. Watch.
In a world of endless pain, in a sea of broken dreams.
6 out of 6 rounds, I hit him, but he had on class 3 body armor. He was able to get into his vehicle and ran down the road just as fast as he could.
Stephen Williford stood in the Texas Senate Tuesday morning with his wife by his side.
So this is a real hero who didn't want to be a hero.
November the 5th, 2017, Williford confronted an active shooter who emerged from the First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs. The gunman had just killed 26 and injured 20.
There's a man in black tactical gear shooting up the Baptist church. I pulled out an AR-15.
Of the state of Texas, 86th legislature, hereby commend Stephen Williford on his selfless and heroic actions.
But how is he even going to know how many mags I have?
Magazines that can hold multiple bullets in them, it's absolutely mindless.
Hey, Joe, this is the very AR-15, or as you call it,
Your AR-14.
in my hands, it stopped a mass shooting.
Stephen, you kind of have to giggle there. You have a president who wants to take away our guns, but he can't even tell you the correct name of the gun that he wants to take away. Let's talk about our 2A rights, the Second Amendment, and our freedom to open arms and carry guns. Good citizens need guns. We do not have a gun problem in America. We have a mental health problem. And going back to Sutherland Springs, it is clear as day. You have a mentally ill person shooting up a church, and then you have a sane man stopping that shooting from happening. And so it's who the gun's hands are in that really matters in these situations.
Absolutely. There's more good guys out here in the world than there are bad guys. And even I tell the police, my gun is never your issue. My gun may be your solution someday, but it's never your problem. Understand that our Bill of Rights was not the government granting us any rights at all. Instead, the Bill of Rights was to restrict the government from infringing on God given rights. People need to understand that completely. Is the Bill of Rights was God granted, and the government can't infringe on those rights. And that's what our nation was founded on.
Absolutely. And you have a book that's out about Sutherland Springs, and you can order that book on Amazon. Tell us about your book.
Well, my book is about a whole lot more than just what happened that day in Sutherland Springs. My book is about Mayberry, USA, if you will, the best little small town ever. Sutherland Springs, we all know each other. We grew up together. I knew almost everyone in that church. It's like Aunt B and Barney and the whole town. Everybody seems to know each other and interacts with each other daily. And it's about what America used to be and what we should become again. Um, we look out for one another. We know what's going on in our community, and when someone's struggling, the community pulls together and takes food baskets and whatever to the families. And my great grandfather, I had my great grandparents until I was in my mid 20s, and we used to deliver food baskets around Sutherland Springs and things like that when I was a young man. And my great grandfather made sure and instilled that love for community in me. And we are our brother's keepers in some ways.
You're absolutely right. And I firmly believe that is a book that everyone should read about, small town USA and a big hero who comes through and saves the lives of so many. Unfortunately, we lost some lives that day, never to be forgotten. But it's people like you who come to the rescue, and every community needs a Stephen Williford in their town to make sure that we stay safe. Your book is out. I want to talk about something going on in Seattle that you've been following closely. The people in Seattle are building this wall of crime because of crime surrounding themselves. This is a Democrat run city, and it's the residents who are trying to protect themselves. What can you tell us about what's going on there?
Well, this is we have the right to protect ourselves, and we should. The more good guys out there with guns, the better off we are. If you look at all the major cities in the United States where gun control is running crazy, those are the cities where the most crime happens. When you don't have good people with the ability to protect themselves, with the ability to stop crime themselves, that's where crime happens the most. And most of it is gang related and drug related and stuff. And the people that just are unable to get out of the cities and stuff, and the criminals just, they run rampant. So it's time for good citizens to band together to carry on wherever they go, and hopefully things will work its way out.
And you're from
I would
Texas,
love to
and
use.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say
I
you're from
would love to
Texas.
use
I'm sorry, Stephen. We are
Wyoming.
stepping over each other, and there's a delay as well. There is a man running for Congress in Texas. His name is Brandon, and of course, his slogan that everyone uses is "Let's go, Brandon." But he is a YouTuber, Brandon Herrera, and he is a YouTuber who has hundreds of thousands of followers off YouTube because he is a 2A activist. He is an advocate for gun rights. And he is wanting to make sure that Americans have the right to bear arms. And he's loved by so many. He's pretty much taking off. And if he does win in November, he will be the first YouTuber in Congress. But that's how he. His claim to fame is for being an advocate for gun rights. I'm sure you're familiar with Brandon Herrera there in Texas. But I just want to emphasize the importance, because you have the left. Anytime there's a shooting, anytime there's a situation, they come out in full force and try to, ban everyday Americans from bearing arms. So, how do we make sure that we uh, suggest to Americans, let them know that this is a mental health issue, not a gun issue in America?
Absolutely is a mental health issue. Brandon Herrera, I love him to death. I know him quite well. He's called the AK guy. He loves AK-47s. We won't hold that against him. AR-15s are America's rifle. But how we deal with this is education. Letting people know that there's so many of us out here that would stand in the gap between evil and innocence, and uh, to make people understand that if all the gun laws in the world aren't going to stop criminals, and that's why they call them criminals, is because they don't care about laws. And we need to get back to the freedoms this nation was known for. And we need to educate people about it also. There's so many hunters in this world. We would be the largest army in the whole world if we all grabbed a gun and defended our nation.
You're absolutely right. The military, our law enforcement officers, you know, in a small town where I'm from, Stephen, there is a citizens police academy. And you go through this academy and it teaches you from the start to finish the line of work of law enforcement. And then once you graduate that academy, you're then considered to be on citizen patrol. Now, you can't go out and arrest people, but they can, notify law enforcement when something is awry, even parking tickets, things like that. And so law enforcement can't be everywhere at one time. And we saw that the day of the shooting at your church there in Texas. And so it's citizens like you who need to be the eyes and ears and help law enforcement see something and say something.
Understand, we have a perfect record of how long it took them to respond to Sutherland Springs. Sutherland Springs isn't an incorporated town, and the first 911 call happened at the Valero across the street from the church. And we have video of the lady that worked at the Valero making the first 911 call, and it was 19 minutes before law enforcement showed up. And she hung up the phone. 19 minutes from when she called, she stayed on the phone, and she hung up when she heard the sirens. So understand that's 19 minutes with a crazy man with what seemed to be unlimited ammunition and stuff, with people innocents in a church trying to hide under pews and stuff. Now, in that 19 minutes, well, in that 19 minutes, I confronted the shooter and had a shootout with him, chased him down the road. But if everybody would have been waiting that full 19 minutes, there probably wouldn't have been anybody left in the church alive.
A lot can happen in 19 minutes. You're absolutely right. And in that time, it seems like a lifetime. 19 minutes is a very long time to do damage that these, crazy people plan for months and then act out on. I want to talk about now the Gun Owners of America, which you're a part of. Tell us about how people can get involved and learn more about gun rights in America.
So, GOA, Gun Owners of America, we believe in no compromise when it comes to your gun rights. That the government should not be infringing on it in any way. We fight everything. We're now fighting to get suppressors, short barrel rifles, and shotguns off the NFA. We're fighting for national reciprocity because we want anyone from whatever state to be able to carry in a state just in normal travel. We want you to be able to carry your gun in whatever state you're going to without having to worry about being pulled over and arrested for having a gun in your vehicle or whatever. You should be able to, our Second Amendment is national reciprocity. It is our guarantee that we can move and bear arms. It's not only to own guns, but to bear arms, to have them on you. And Gun Owners American, you can find us at gunowners.org, and a annual membership is only $25. And we have, we're in the fight for everything. We're the ones that got the pistol brace ban overturned. We have our annual event in Iowa. It's called Goals, and that's coming up the first weekend in August. But we are absolutely fighting in the legislation and in the courts, and it's whole lot easier to fight these things before they become law. But we are committed that after they do become law, fighting them in the courts because they're unconstitutional.
And before we wrap up here, I have to ask you about that stash behind you. Those are some good looking guns.
Well, they say the national average gun owner owns 6 guns, and I'm just going to say, what's wrong with the rest of you guys?
You can never have enough guns, right? Well, that's a nice stash that you have there. Stephen, you are a hero. I know about a decade has gone by since that day, since that church shooting. And I know it comes across your mind every single day, but you are a true American hero for helping save so many countless lives that day and continuing to fight for our Second Amendment rights every single day. We appreciate you. Come back and see us sometimes. Would love to chat with you again.
Just let me know. God bless.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. Well, President Trump has arrived at the G7 summit in France, where world leaders are gathering to address some of the biggest challenges facing the global community. The president enters the summit with a focus on strengthening American interest, promoting economic growth, and advancing his administration's America First agenda. Trump's attendance comes as international leaders closely watch U.S. efforts to reduce tensions abroad while maintaining a strong stance on national security. Supporters say Trump's leadership has helped put America in a position of strength during a time of global uncertainty. You can stay with us for continuing coverage from the G7 summit. Meanwhile, breaking developments involving Iran and what could be a major step toward ending months of conflict in the Middle East. President Trump saying this on Truth Social: the United States and Iran have struck a deal. He says, I fully authorize the toll-free opening of the Strait of Hormuz and authorize the removal of the blockade. Ships of the world, start your engines and let the oil flow, he says. Plans are to restore commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important energy corridors. And as you know, the waterway handles a significant portion of the global oil supply, and disruptions there have fueled concerns about rising energy prices and economic uncertainty. While markets responded positively to news of the agreement, significant challenges remain. Questions persist over Iran's nuclear ambitions, regional security concerns, and whether all sides will fully comply with the terms of this deal. Here's more from Vice President Vance.
Vice President Vance here to talk a little bit about what is in the Iran deal, the great peace deal that the President of the United States made last night. Number one, what this deal means is that the Straits of Hormuz are open immediately. You're already seeing oil and gas prices come down just over the past 24 hours. Number two, it ensures that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. And we have to back up for a second and appreciate that what the president has done is completely decimated Iran's nuclear program. Now, this deal really has two pathways. On the one hand, if the Iranians make the long-term commitments never to rebuild, then they're going to be welcomed into the world economy. If, on the other hand, they try to rebuild that nuclear program, they're never going to have the resources in order to do so. So it's a win-win for the American people. We ensure Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon either way. And now it's really up to the Iranians. Over the next few months, we're going to see if they're serious about dismantling that program for the long term. If they do, the president has said, we want their country to be successful. But what we know is that our country is successful thanks to great presidential leadership and a lot of good decisions. Thank you, guys.
That's a message from the White House. World leaders are cautiously welcoming the development as we watch this agreement and if it leads to lasting peace or merely just a temporary pause in hostilities. Now to weaponized by the government. Hundreds of people, average American citizens, targeted by former administrations. A weaponization watch was held at the Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C., and our Kara Castronova is there talking with organizers.
Hey everybody, Kara Castronova with LINDELLTV here with Jeff Clark, a former Trump attorney, now with an organization called
The Oversight Project.
Oversight Project. Everybody has heard of the Oversight Project, and you're doing great work there. You just left the administration, but Jeff was also really a help when it came to the J6ers and so many other important things. And right now we're at a event called Weaponization Watch, which was organized by Cynthia Hughes here at the Trump Hotel. And it's sort of surreal, I think, to see all of the J6ers walking around wearing suits and ties when the last time I saw a lot of them were in jumpsuits.
Yeah. Well, I saw a lot of your interviews in connection with the individual trials and trying to get justice for people who were accused in many instances of minor crimes or trumped up crimes. Obviously, there was the whole 1512 C2 debacle that went to the Supreme Court and they reversed it. People who use their power in that way to demonize their own fellow citizens, I just think it's inexcusable.
I know that you're doing work at the Oversight Project. I don't know if this is stuff you could look into, but, maybe really, I do think that the weaponization fund was warranted, the one that they're now saying they're not going to do anymore because they got so much blowback. But because the 1512 was struck down by the Supreme Court, isn't that proof right there that there was weaponization when the literal Supreme Court of the United States said that the charges were unconstitutional?
Absolutely. I mean, that charge was completely made up. It was completely a misapplication of the statute, and that's what the Supreme Court said. It's designed for obstructing justice by destroying documents, and they turned it into you go to a political protest that lasts for a few hours, and magically you're guilty of this crime. And so, yeah, I think that people who were hauled up on charges like that and who in many instances were convicted, I think they do deserve compensation. And I think that President Trump has said he thinks people like that deserve compensation, and I think he's going to continue to fight for that. We have judges who are just in open revolt against President Trump, and I don't think they have any business interfering in voluntary decisions to settle cases. There's really no standing by anyone who is not either someone who was victimized by weaponization or DOJ who decides to settle cases to challenge any resolution that's voluntary.
Yeah, I hope that President Trump does find a way, or at least the administration, to compensate them maybe through a different means. That would be important. Can you tell me really quickly what you guys are doing over at the Oversight Project? I do want to do an extended interview with you about the work you're doing, but what does the Oversight Project do?
Sure, I'll tick off three things. So one is we've been spearheading the mass deportation coalition. We think that President Trump, he promised people that he was going to engage in mass deportation. And, we think that there have been efforts to deport criminals, but we think the numbers really need to go up. So we're spearheading about 50 or more organizations who've joined us as the leaders of that effort. We have the mass deportation playbook, which you can get from our website, itsyourgov.org. And we outline in detail, more than 100 pages, all the ways that deportation can happen. Next week, second thing, I'm going to fly to Arizona to argue an election integrity case in Phoenix against Adrian Fontes and the Attorney General there. They like to monkey with their election manual to give their election workers discretion to try to shut up people's free speech rights at the polls. And then the third thing is just today we were in court arguing we want Joe Biden's tapes with his ghostwriter. And so
that President Trump about that in a cabinet meeting, if he thinks they should be released, then he does. The former President Biden, his tapes, God only knows. I think that if the American public heard them, they would be appalled by how gone he was when he did those interviews.
So those tapes date, Kara, back to 2016, 2017, right? And they show him as being senile back then. So there were people who knew he was senile back then. They ran him for president anyway, and then they ran an auto pen presidency where Joe Biden really wasn't in charge. There were other people who were assigned to wield that auto pen, probably in some kind of council structure. They were like a joint council of exercising the powers of the presidency. All of that needs to come out. And if you would see the state that he was in on these tapes in 2016, 2017, which we think the American people need to know, that would be politically bombshell.
Have you heard any of them?
No, because the government's heard them and Joe Biden's lawyers heard them, but we can't hear them. We're representing the people.
Last question regarding Joe Biden and the auto pen. Do you think that we'll ever find out who was in charge of the auto pen?
Well, we're going to keep pressing for it, that's for sure. And there are people who should be able to get to the bottom of that inside the current Trump administration, and they should haul up the witnesses that are necessary to get them to testify. Some of them have taken the fifth, but, that you can't penetrate. But there are people, I think, who'd be willing to cooperate. They just need to be brought in front of Congress and in front of the executive branch to be examined.
Last quick question. Is there any way to fight the pardons given to the J6 on Select Committee or because they were auto pen pardons?
There should not be, but I suspect there will be. And in fact, I received a pardon. I don't know if you know that. And so,
It was not by an auto pen.
It was not by an auto pen. It was by President Trump's own Sharpie pen hand. And, I just got subpoenaed by the BBC because President Trump sued the BBC for making up taking things out of sequence, making it look like he was trying to exhort people to violence on January 6th, which is a total lie. So he sued them for defamation. So then they issue a subpoena to me to try to get documents that I don't have after I left DOJ in early 2021. It's ridiculous. But, one of the theories I'm sure they're going to deploy is, well, you received a pardon, so now you can open the kimono and you can tell us everything. It's like, no. There's executive privilege. There's law enforcement privilege. There's deliberative process privilege. There's attorney-client privilege with the president. Like, no, I'm not cooperating with your stupid witch hunt. And also, I'm sure the Democrats are going to challenge my pardon. At some point, someone will think to do that, and I think the J6ers are in the same boat, probably worse.
That's why I'm saying maybe the Oversight Committee could challenge some of these auto pen pardons because they're certainly going to do it to you guys if they do get back in.
So I'm sorry, I didn't catch that question, Karen.
I think that what you're saying is true. Like, it's similar to the filibuster. If Democrats get in again, they're going to do it anyway. So why doesn't...
They're going to try to pack the Supreme Court. They're going to try to add 2-3 new states. They're going to get rid of the filibuster. They're going to do everything they possibly can. And so, meanwhile, the Republicans play by, restraint and Marquess of Queensberry rules. And it's stupid. We're living in an age in which they want to destroy us, and they want essentially a Marxist revolution to consolidate their power. People don't realize it's 11:59. It's late. The hour is late.
Thank you so much for the great work that you continue to do now at the Oversight Project. Where could people learn more about the Oversight Project?
Sure. So the Oversight Project's website is itsyourgov, itsyourgov.org. And then you can follow me, Jeff Clark US, on X.
Okay, thank you so much, Jeff Clark.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right, more to come here on My Mornings, including a summer travel warning, what parents should know before vacationing on beaches in foreign countries. We'll be right back.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's gonna ship absolutely free.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LINDELLTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
Welcome back to My Mornings. We're back with a big win for animals. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has announced a major victory for animal welfare, highlighting efforts to reduce and replace animal testing with alternative research methods.
Hi, I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your HHS Secretary. I'm joined by my friend and colleague, Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins. And Brooke and I want to start by thanking Laura Trump for her extraordinary leadership on this issue. Today, we're highlighting a major win for animal welfare. Ridgeland Farms, a dog breeding facility that supplied animals for research, will transfer its remaining 475 beagles to a large, cage-free, no-kill dog rescue. Most of those dogs will leave the facility immediately and begin the path toward adoption and permanent homes. We are committed to humane animal care and to replacing animal testing with effective alternatives wherever possible. And we're turning that commitment into lasting change. Today, we're also announcing the creation of OREVA, a new NIH office that will accelerate the development and use of humane-based research technologies and help reduce reliance on animal testing across all of NIH.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. This is such welcome news, as USDA had taken action to hold Ridgeland Farms accountable with federal requirements for humane animal care. We conducted inspections, we investigated conditions at the facility, and we put the operation on notice about inbound accountability. Prior to today's announcement, USDA informed the facility that if it fails to voluntarily cancel its Federal Animal Welfare Act Class A breeder license by July 1st, we will begin termination proceedings. And our work, in addition to groups similarly seeking accountability, has paid off. Accountability matters, animal welfare matters, and enforcement matters. Earlier this year, USDA published a request for information on standards of care for dogs covered under the Animal Welfare Act to ensure that we are aware of the best available science and the latest evidence in animal welfare. And we will continue to use every tool available to ensure that animals receive humane treatment in this country. This is what responsible government looks like: agencies working together and protecting animal welfare.
Thank you to everyone who helped make this happen. But our work isn't finished. We're going to continue fighting to improve animal welfare, expand humane alternatives to animal testing, and hold institutions accountable. Thank you.
Produced by Kennedy has made phasing out animal experiments a key part of his MAHA agenda, saying the administration is committed to expanding non-animal testing technologies. All right, this is a scary one. Now to a summertime warning for moms and parents, dads, you too, looking to travel overseas this summer. Many families are taking summer vacations. High school seniors are going on their senior trips. But the safety risks are very high in places you may not even think of. Here's a warning from the administration.
Hello, I'm Ambassador Herschel Walker. I have an important message for Americans visiting or living in the Bahamas. The beautiful waters here are one of the reasons people love to visit these islands. But I need to warn you about some serious dangers associated with renting jet skis and small watercrafts and swimming at beaches where jet skis and small watercrafts are being operated in shallow waters, particularly around Nassau and Paradise Island. We've lost America's lives to preventable accidents. Multiple visitors have been hospitalized. America have also been sexually assaulted by jet ski operators who take victims to isolated islands. Many watercrafts are unsafe and operators are unlicensed and uninsured. That's why U.S. government employees are banned from renting or riding jet skis. We're working with the government of the Bahamas to address these issues. But for now, considering all the risks before you get on a jet ski in the Bahamas, your safety matters. If you need help, contact the embassy immediately.
Very scary to think about going on vacation and using one of these rentals, and danger awaits you. So think before you go, plan before you go, use the buddy system, never go anywhere alone. And that's the message for safety in these foreign areas. Okay, now back to the MAHA movement, daily exercise. We talk about that often here on the morning show, that just a few minutes a day, walking, jogging, or just moving any way you can change your life. Grab a friend with that too and start moving. Watch.
I'm Admiral Brian Christine of the United States Public Health Service Commission Corps, and today we were out here getting active. What does that mean? It means get out, use your body, get out in the fresh air, exercise.
Fitness is so important, and as public health service officers, we have the opportunity to walk the walk and talk the talk.
1, 2, 3, go! We're fighting back against chronic disease by getting active, getting out, exercising.
It's a great idea to get everybody out here to make sure that fitness is a part of our everyday lives.
Today was a day about fitness, coming together, camaraderie, and making sure that our public health service officers are fit and ready when it's time to serve.
We are out here getting active. We eat real food. We're doing everything we can do to keep our bodies, our minds, and our hearts strong.
There you go.
Get active puts us together as a community, puts us together as a nation.
Get active.
Get active.
Get active! Get active. All right, America 250, more events are planned, and even United Airlines is getting in on the birthday celebration for America. We have everything you need to know, plus new events have been announced. We'll tell you about it when we come back. Stay with us.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.
Well, hello, everyone. Well, I'm turning 65, and let me tell you, Medicare has me confused. All the junk mail and the robocalls and everything else, it honestly feels like they rigged the system just to confuse us. Well, that's why I partnered and working with Chapter. They're independent and they don't work for big insurance. They work for us. In fact, they're the only advisor that compares every single plan nationwide to find what actually fits your needs. If you're on the right plan, they tell you. If you're not, they're going to help you switch. And it's completely free. Just last year, seniors saved about $1,100 by finding a better plan with Chapter. So call Chapter at 234-LINDELL or go to askchapter.org/Lindell. Mike Lindell here. The radical left and the deep state aren't just coming for our freedoms, they're coming after our money too. For years, they've been destroying our economy from the inside out with reckless spending, open borders, woke policies that crush our businesses. And now they've left us with an inflation disaster that's wiping out the savings of our hardworking families. They don't want us to be independent. They want us to be dependent on the government. Well, that's not going to happen on my watch. That's why I partner with American Independence Gold. It's a veteran-owned company that's helping patriotic Americans fight back by protecting our savings with real physical gold and silver. And right now, they're giving away up to $15,000 in free silver and a free gold IRA kit. A portion of all the profits go to 9/11 first responders and veterans at the Tunnels to Towers Foundation. The deep state can't touch your gold, so visit MikeLindellGold.com or call 844-714-4653 right now. That's MikeLindellGold.com. Take back control.
Coming off a big weekend of UFC 250, the party is still going on, and United Airlines is getting in on the party, unveiling a new patriotic fleet.
I couldn't be happier to be here. Scott, thank you for what you've done with this beautiful plane, leaning into America's birthday. We have a few more weeks before the 4th, so prep maybe some cold beer, cold soda, Sean, maybe cold water. And some hot dogs and brats and cheese curds, whatever you eat. We are going to have a great American birthday. And to be able to, if you're lucky enough to travel, to be on one of these beautiful American liveries to celebrate this great country is going to be so cool. So again, Scott, thank you for inviting me. United, thank you for all that you do. And looking forward to together celebrating this great country and this great birthday. Thank you.
And we're continuing to count down to the Great American State Fair. And who better to kick it off than President Trump? The kickoff rally is planned for June 24th at 7 p.m. Eastern on the National Mall. President Trump will officially kick off the summer-long celebration of America's 250th birthday with the America is Back kickoff rally. Look for military flyovers, performances by the military band, and Lee Greenwood, who was on the show with us last week. He's excited about it as well. Again, mark your calendars. That rally, the America is Back rally, is coming up on the 24th of this month. And just announced, I'm excited about this one as well. Saddle up for Rodeo 250, the evolution of the American cowboy. It's described as a signature attraction of the Great American State Fair on the National Mall. Organizers say visitors will journey through the evolution of the American cowboy from Western traditions to cattle drives, Wild West performances, trick riding, Roman riding, trick roping, and the emergence of modern professional rodeo. The dates for Rodeo 25 are June 25th through July 10th, and tickets are now on sale. On the opposite side of the country, in Los Angeles, California, a big July 4th celebration has been announced. Chris Stapleton and the Smashing Pumpkins will perform at America's Block Party concert at the Memorial Coliseum, and it will be hosted by Queen Latifah. Tickets are $17.76. Very cheap, $17.76, the year of our independence. So a lot going on this summer. Get out and don your red, white, and blue to celebrate America, the greatest country in the world. And we'll continue to follow all of the America 250 events as we head through the summer. All right, let's take a look and see how the markets are opening today. A live look from MarketWatch.com. Opening bell just moments ago. The Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ all up at this hour. Markets are coming off a strong rally on Monday, with investors encouraged by easing oil prices and developments in U.S.-Iran negotiations. Attention today is shifting to the Federal Reserve's policy meeting and any signals about future interest rates. Movers to watch out for today: SpaceX, Western Digital, and Qualcomm. We're also waiting a key, again, Federal Reserve meeting and any possible decision today that could affect how the markets close on this Tuesday. In your news to go, a quick glimpse of other news headlines we're following this morning. All 8 people have died in a U.S. Air Force B-52 crash at Edwards Air Force Base in California. The aircraft went down during a routine test mission. The crew included military personnel, government civilians, and contractors. 2 Boeing employees were reportedly among those killed. An investigation into the exact cause is underway. Now, this is the first B-52 crash since 2016 and one of the deadliest involving the iconic bomber in decades. Fox Corporation is making a massive streaming play, buying Roku in a $22 billion deal. Fox Corporation announced it will acquire the streaming giant in a cash and stock deal. It's one of the largest media acquisitions in recent years. Roku shareholders will receive $160 per share with this transaction, expected to close early next year. The deal combines Fox's portfolio, as you know, live sports, news, and entertainment content, which reaches more than 100 million households worldwide. The purchase is expected to become the 3rd largest television company in the United States by viewership. All right, here's a look at the president's schedule for today. Look at that. A lot going on for the president at the G7 summit in France. At 8 a.m., he held an executive meeting. At 9 a.m., he participated in a working session with G7 leaders and Ukraine. He holds a couple of bilateral meetings with several different countries. Then at noon, a working lunch with G7 leaders in the Middle East. At 3 p.m., a working session with G7 leaders and development countries. Then this evening at 7:15, a cultural performance and concert. And then at 8:15, a G7 leaders social dinner. A busy, packed day, as you can tell, for the president at the summit in France. For news headlines and more, you can always stay connected on LINDELLTV.com and the Lindell TV app. Also note this, while you are online today, there are key state primaries today. So get out and vote. Georgia, Oklahoma, Alabama, Washington, D.C., and a special primary election in California's 14th congressional district. That's the Bay Area. So we are watching those races very closely, especially Georgia, a lot on the line there. So all of those states, if you live in the states that I just mentioned, make sure you get out and vote. We'll have results tonight on Lindell TV social media pages. Now to our Bible verse of the day, coming from the book of Philippians. The Bible says this: "And if in anything you have a different attitude, God will reveal that also to you. For many walk, of whom I often told you, and now tell you even weeping, that they are enemies of the cross of Christ, whose end is destruction, whose God is their appetite, and whose glory is in their shame, who set their minds on earthly things." And that'll do it for us here this morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you all same time, same place tomorrow. And we leave you today with sights from South Carolina. Have a great day.
When you read one news source, you get one side. When you read two sources, you get an argument. Read 40 sources, and you get the truth. LindellReport.com, the only place you ever need to visit for your news. From LindellTV, over 40 trusted outlets in one place. No editorial gatekeepers, no hidden bias. Just the day's news. Balanced, unfiltered, ready when you are. Whether you lean left, right, or straight down the middle, this is where you start your day. One click, one feed, one truth. The decision is yours. LindellReport.com. The news you need, the balance you deserve.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LINDELLTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to Vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
America's founders warned that without knowledge,